Just a few days after the Prince and Princess of Wales's trip to Boston, the Countess of Wessex has travelled stateside to carry out a few engagements. The trip will see the low-profile royal being acknowledged for her work on raising awareness of gender-based violence and championing women in business by former U.S. Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton. Later today, Mrs. Clinton will lead the 2022 Hillary Rodham Clinton Awards hosted by the Georgetown Institute for Women, Peace, and Security. During the ceremony, set to begin at 11 a.m. ET, 4 p.m. GMT, in Washington, D.C., Sophie will be among the women celebrated as trailblazers for their work and actions. A description of the event reads, "Join the 2022 Hillary Rodham Clinton Awards ceremony and celebrate extraordinary women trailblazers." The Hillary Rodham Clinton Awards are bestowed annually for exceptional leadership in advancing women's rights and creating a more peaceful and secure world for all. 4 prominent Ukrainian women will also be honored at the ceremony, including the nation's First Lady Olena Zelenska, the Ukrainian Government Commissioner for Gender Equality Policy, Katerina Levchenko, the country's Director on Strategic Development at the Ukrainian Women's Fund, Natalia Karboska, and Oleksandra Matvichuk, a human rights activist and chair at the Center for Civil Liberties in Ukraine. The event is free to attend for members of the Georgetown University community on a first-come, first-served basis. In March, Sophie collaborated with the Institute, as it co-hosted, alongside a group of Friends of Women in Afghanistan and UN Women, the Upholding Women's Rights in Afghanistan event. The Countess traveled to New York in her capacity as Global Ambassador of 100 Women in Finance's Next Generation initiative and delivered a speech during this gathering. The event was focused on convening experts and leading policy to consider how to make international mechanisms more effective in upholding human rights for women and girls in Afghanistan, a Buckingham Palace press release said at the time. Sophie left her home in Surrey on Saturday and, after a flight from London Heathrow, she was received at Washington Dulles International Airport by James Roscoe, the deputy head of mission at the British Embassy in D.C. On Sunday, the royal attended a meeting with Dame Karen Pierce, the UK's ambassador to the US. Sophie isn't the only member of the royal family to be publicly honoured for her work this week. On Tuesday, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are expected to head to New York to attend the Ripple of Hope Awards ceremony. Hosted by the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Organization, this ceremony puts the spotlight on people who have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to social change and worked to protect and advance equity, justice, and human rights. According to the organization's president Kerry Kennedy, the Sussexes exemplified the moral courage against injustice her father Robert had called for during a speech in apartheid South Africa 5 decades ago when they made allegations of racism against the royal family during their interview with Oprah Winfrey. Meghan and Harry, who will be awarded for their work in racial justice, mental health and other social impact action through their Archil Foundation, will share the spotlight with, among other award recipients, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.